And, for me, it's important.
I remember when he did
to stand up and
he didn't speak out against black men. He spoke out against the shit that they was doing at that particular point in time.
He said black men all around the country are sending out their sperm everywhere, and they're not being. Basically, he was. I think sometimes it's important to have some perspective and not demonize all black men. Y'all might disagree, but I think we should defend and protect the dignity of black men and not assume the worst in all.
So if you feel that way, why you don't want to protect? If you feel that way,
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yo, can I get my scooter?
Wait, hold on. If you feel that way, then it doesn't apply to Bill Cosby?
What do you mean? What did I do to Bill Cosby that didn't defend his honor?
It don't apply to the men that you talked about the other day when you said you don't empathize with the men, but you empathize with the women.
That's not what I said. But when I said,
oh shit, trying to call back.
When I said what I just said, I was saying that sarcastically.
What's good, Elevators? It's your boy Elevation here with another episode of the JBP Elevated, where we speak on the Joe Budden podcast and all of his co-hosts on and off the pod. This must just be Marc's week. This is Marc's pod week because here's another video yet again about Mr. Lamont Hill. Ish did not want any smoke. None. He tried to use his normal tactic of bringing up something that you did months ago or weeks ago and trying to use it against you in the point that he's making currently. It does not fly in this regard, sir. Not with me. You're going to have to fight against me verbally, of course, verbally. But Ish, I got to use the bathroom, yo. Let me put this out here, cook a muffin real quick, crack his muffin, whatever he says. Then let me go use the bathroom. And then when I get back, he's going to continue. I didn't think he'd continue, but he's going to. And I'm just going to sit here with this stank look on my face. Hey, this told me that Joe told Marc to wake it up against Ish. Which is very telling because, you know who else I feel Joe told that to? J1. J1 was going at Ish a lot too. Except he didn't mesh well with all the other castmates, so we said bon voyage to that boy. Shout out to him. Hopefully he's doing whatever he feels like or wants to do. But Flip continuously goes at Ish as well. I wonder if that's something that Joe tells all his co-hosts. I need you to go at Ish. I need you to make fun of Melissa. And I'm going to make fun of everybody else. But I need y'all to vehemently go at Ish. Because he's what makes this entertaining. Because I know his ego is going to make him go back and forth. Which in my head makes good content and good dialogue. Which most of the time it does. I'm not going to lie to you. But Marc is a different animal. It's a different animal. I really wish Marc and Dr. Umar and Ish could all be in the same room. But Marc's making it seem like he doesn't want anything to do with Dr. Umar. Ish came back. Marc continued with his story. And nothing else happened. Marc was trying to direct things towards Ish because he could clearly see that Ish was peeved and Ish was shutting it down. Ish wasn't trying to make eye contact. He's making the snake face that we always claim Melissa makes. But another interesting tidbit about this was the story itself. Marc Lamont Hill has plex with Bill Cosby? Dr. Bill Cosby? Whatever he goes by, I don't know. I don't know how honorary doctorates work or doctorates work. I'm not a doctor myself. But clearly there's plex there. The main thing that I took from the story was, hey, this is what Joe used to do. Joe used to have beef with people in the industry that we look up to and admire, quote unquote. And he would air it out. Names included and everything. Marc Lamont Hill told us the story. It was a very intriguing story. Bill Cosby basically little boyed me. He shunned me straight to my face. That's why there's antipathy in my heart towards him. He told us the backstory. They always say every villain has an origin story. That was his origin story. Ish took offense as if he's met Dr. Bill Cosby. He took offense. He's standing up for a man that wouldn't even know he existed. But because of how he was portrayed on a sitcom, and this is me not throwing shots at Bill Cosby. I don't really care either way. But he couldn't eloquently go back at Marc. And that's why Joe brought Marc on here. Well, at least another reason. I'm pretty sure when Joe brought Marc to the JBP, he wasn't anticipating any of this. You're an intellectual, so you can go back and forth with Ish. You pander a lot, so you and Mel might have good footing together. Flip is going to go at you because you're an intellect, so you could barb that nigga to death, which he has been doing. Every single time he talks to Flip, he's throwing a shot at Flip, even with the condescending questions he asks. And I'm glad Flip is picking up on that. Flip is using the advice that I told Imani to use against Flip. He's using that advice towards Marc. Hey, little nigga, you're not going to keep calling me this to my face. You're not going to keep saying this shit to my face. I just wish he had better comebacks, because Marc would get off his case if he could be quick with it. I don't know. A lot of people aren't witty like that. But Ish is starting to feel the fire under his seat. Not because he's not a good potter, but it's because you could be a better potter. And now I have someone here to point out all your weaknesses, and you can't back down, you can't run. Because all Marc's going to do is ask questions. Are you all right? What's wrong? The same condescending tone he's giving Flip, he's going to give to Ish. This could have been a great argument if Ish didn't wheel away from it. But me personally, I'm going to like this dynamic between the two of them as it builds. Because I knew Marc took Ish to that game for a reason. He took Ish to that game for a reason. You are the one that Joe keeps talking about the most. This is my way of feeling you out. Hey, let's go courtside. I have tickets already. They're courtside seats, or these are my season tickets. So instead of taking my wife, come join me for a game. Let's chill. Let me get you outside of work. Let me get you in your comfort zone so I can figure out who you are, how I had to play the situation. Someone said in the comments yesterday that Marc is a snake. And it's kind of hard not to see. Depending on how things play out with the cast, let's say for the next 3 months, depending on how many hands or pot Marc has his hands in, whether it's the departure of a co-host or suspension of a co-host, dock pay of a co-host, all the above, we got to start paying attention to all his movements, because then in my head it'll let me know that he has had this in his mind from the jump. Ever since he first joined, he knew what he was going to do to each and every one of these co-hosts. Oh, Ish. I'm not normally the Ish defender, but you got to get over these attitudes that you have, sir. Because someone that this reminds me of, and I don't want to say in a way less extent because I don't want to test his intelligence, but this reminds me of Danny. He's good at getting people frustrated, flustered, doing things or saying things that they normally wouldn't say because they don't have a witty comeback. Marc is a higher version of that. So I'm going to be curious to see how Ish plays his hand when it comes to this. But as always, I appreciate y'all. I just had to speak on this incident because this is the first incident I feel of many. And somebody came in the comments yesterday saying that I make shit up. Guys, this whole channel is based off of speculation. The reason we're still gaining traction is because sometimes speculation turns to the truth. So I appreciate y'all watching. I appreciate y'all supporting the channel. Make sure you like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to the page if you haven't. If you have, you already know it's much appreciated. Y'all be safe out here in this cold, cold world. I'll see y'all. Peace.